So the question is, as a society begins to break down, what are some of the things that develop as it starts to break down, either in its leadership status in the world, in its control of its own people, in its own economic collapse. We're printing money up the wazoo. We've got inflation going on, and the people that I follow actually are a little bit tongue tied as to how the Fed gets out of this. We've got to push to keep interest rates low, but inflation goes up, so you got to have high interest rates, and all these things militate against each other. I don't know about all that. So the question is, with all of this brouhaha brewing at levels that you and I can't change, how do we function for authentic food? How do we get good food? How do we actually transact business that's outside the control, the tracking, and the sphere of an increasingly interventive, tyrannical, bureaucratic state? I think that's the bottom line question. And so, because of all this, 3 years ago, John Moody and I started the Rogue Food Conference, RFC. You can Google it up, Rogue Food Conference. We've now had 5. Our last one was in December. Rogue Food 6 is going to be here at Polyface Farm in Virginia. And we're going to have Congressman Thomas Massey and a couple of other, elected people from that you would know around the country. They're not all confirmed yet, but anyway, it's going to be quite a consortium here. And our whole goal in the Rogue Food Conferences has been to showcase, to find practitioners and then showcase circumventive models of people who are already in the state we're in, are figuring out ways to circumvent the regulatory food police. I'll just call them food police that we have in this country. And so one of the darlings of this movement right now is the Personal Membership Association. It's called PMA, Personal Membership Association. And essentially it's modeled after the country club platform, which country clubs are not public. They don't have to adhere to, for example, Americans with Disability Act. If they don't want to give wheelchair access, they don't have to. Now, I'm not opposed to Wheelchair Act. Don't read into this, okay? I'm just suggesting that they're able to operate outside because they're not public. If you think about, and again, I'm not an attorney, but I do follow and appreciate litigation. And if you followed the recent the court cases, for example, remember the wedding cake, the Christian wedding cake people in Colorado that got taken to court for not making a wedding cake for, I think it was a homosexual wedding. And then now we have this graphics artist lady in Colorado that went to the Supreme Court being accused of discrimination. The problem with those businesses is that they are perceived to be public businesses. In other words, I hang my shingle. I'm a public business. Anybody that can come. But in a country club, I can exclude people. You're too fat. You're too thin. You're the wrong ethnicity. You have, this is a private club. So the private part of private membership association means that this is not a public situation.